Captain America Brave New World, formerly known as Captain America New World Order, is currently set to hit theaters next summer. That is, of course, delays and hopefully anything like that is past us, and that won't be happening to this film. I mean, we have the actors and writer strike going right now, but fortunately, Captain America New World Order / Brave New World, I'm going to jump back and forth between the two names. This movie was fortunately able to complete production and complete filming prior to the strike. So this film is one that should be on track to actually make its release date again for summer of 2024. So that's really exciting because this is a movie I'm really hyped up for. Like Captain America, Sam Wilson, this is going to be our first real adventure with this character because, I mean, Sam Wilson has been a character in the MCU for by the time this movie comes out, a whole decade. He's a character we've known for a long time, but this will be our first real time seeing him as Captain America. Yes, the Falcon and the Soldier was where he debuted and took up the mantle of Captain America in the MCU, but that was only one episode. It was the final episode where we actually got to see him in the suit, wielding the shield. But this, we're getting a whole entire movie with this character as the new Captain America and see how that impacts the world and everybody's reaction to it. That's something I'm really excited to see because I love Anthony Mackie, I love Sam Wilson, so I'm excited to see him now lead a movie as Captain America. And there's been a lot going on with what we've heard about this movie. I mean, there's going to be Hulks involved with the Red Hulk and the leader, and there's rumors of She-Hulk being in here. There's a lot that's going to be done in Brave New World, and that's why a lot of people are comparing it to Captain America Civil War, because that movie, while yes, it was a Captain America movie that really was a Steve Rogers Captain America movie at the center, it was also simultaneously kind of a mini Avengers movie. I mean, you had all the Avengers in there, you had this big conflict that was centering around the Avengers, and while Steve Rogers, Chris Evans was the star of the movie, Robert Downey Jr. was very much a co-lead, just a bit under Chris Evans in that movie. Like, it may not have been Captain America and Iron Man Civil War, it was just Captain America Civil War, but really, Iron Man was in it almost as much as Captain America was. So that's why a lot of people are comparing Brave New World to that, because with what we're hearing about this movie, with all the Hulk stuff going on, a lot of people are making jokes like, oh, is this even a Captain America movie anymore? But if they do it like Civil War did, that was still very much a Captain America movie. So I have faith that this still will very much be a Captain America movie as well. But again, you look at what's going on here. You have all this Hulk stuff going on, and this is going to be the first real Earth-based MCU movie in a while, at least to the public. This will be a kind of globe-trotting, I don't know about globe-trotting, but it'll be, Brave New World, New World Order. We're dealing with the whole entire world here. This is Earth, and this isn't just Wakanda or just the quantum realm or anything like that. We are tackling the whole world, Captain America, and also bringing back the Avengers. And that is just an assumption I'm making, but we know the Avengers are coming back for Kang Dynasty, and the Avengers at least started as an Earth-based team. And out of all the Earth-based heroes that are around in the MCU right now, I feel like Sam Wilson's Captain America is the one most likely to get that team back up and running. I mean, he was an original member, not original member, but he was a member of the Avengers pre-Endgame. And, Captain America has always been the leader of the Avengers. So it makes sense that he would be starting that up. Does that mean we'll get cameos from these other Avengers characters? Will we get a Shang-Chi in here or Doctor Strange, maybe a Thor? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But it would make quite a bit of sense. And now it's even be reporting that, we had those references to people comparing this to Civil War and this being like a Captain America Civil War 2.0. We may actually be getting a Civil War 2 in the MCU, because there's a new report going around from Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus, quite a reliable source that I've mentioned a few times here on the channel, has talked about how there will be a catalyst and there will be something introduced in Captain America Brave New World that could possibly set up the events of a second Civil War. Now, does that mean we'll get an actual movie called Captain America Civil War 2, or as you can see here, Captain Marvel Civil War 2, or Civil War in the title at all. Could it be an Avengers Civil War? I mean, that's all possible, but I don't think it'll be that obvious, especially because, they probably want to, differentiate it more from what we had from the original Civil War. So this could just be, just a reference to a plot line that, again, is being set up here. It could be just like another Sam Wilson Captain America movie where Civil War, you have a Civil War, like heroes versus heroes type plot line. I don't know, but this is really intriguing, really gets me excited. Now, this isn't just a cash grab because like everybody loves Civil War and they want to recreate that and make a bunch more money. I mean, yes, that's always the case. But there is actual comics credence here. For those who don't know, there was a Civil War 2 in the comics. And of course, the original Civil War was Iron Man versus Captain America. And we saw that reflected in the MCU version as well. Well, the sequel, Civil War 2, was Iron Man versus Captain Marvel. So this was an event that happened in the comics. I haven't read it personally, but I've heard that this Civil War 2 is actually a pretty bad comic. But as we know, Marvel Studios, they just take bits and pieces from the comics, sometimes just the name, and they do an entirely new story. So don't get concerned just because the comic storyline was bad. They can always turn it around. But this is quite interesting because a Civil War 2 could be coming in the MCU, but what would cause that? What would be the reason that these heroes are fighting each other? Once again, didn't they learn their lesson the first time? Well, let's go back to the original title of this movie. Before it was Brave New World, New World Order. What is this New World Order that we're talking about? That was a big thing I talked about in my videos when the movie was still called that, is that we don't know much about this movie. We still don't know much about Brave New World. But when it was called New World Order, what is this New World Order? What is this new thing that is being introduced that is changing the world? And is it changing for the better or the worse? There's a lot of ways that this could possibly go. And, it could potentially go a way that could lead to a civil war, such as, some heroes think this is the right way and some heroes think that is the right way. And when you look at it, one of the big players in this project of Brave New World is Thunderbolt Ross. We got Harrison Ford in the role now. Of course, he's rumored to be one of, if not the main villain of Captain America Brave New World. He's going to be probably becoming the Red Hulk, so that's really exciting. But the other big thing here is that Thunderbolt Ross is now the president in the MCU. So we don't know exactly what's happening to the current president. I mean, we just saw him in Secret Invasion, but apparently he's out and Thunderbolt Ross is in. So, I mean, Ross is literally the one that introduced the Sokovia Accords in the first place. So is this New World Order going to be the return of the Sokovia Accords? Especially, I mean, he's literally the president of the United States. That's something he could do if he wanted to. Or is it going to be the introduction of a new similar thing that, again, heroes are going to clash on whether they want to agree with it or not? Especially when you have something like this, like it's literally the president of the United States. Like, arguing with Secretary Ross, that was one thing, choosing the opposite side, but arguing with the president of the United States, like, yes, you're superheroes, but like, you got to draw the line somewhere, and some of them will, and some of them won't. And this could also, of course, factor into World War Hulk. We know that's something that's being set up in the MCU. There's been rumors for years that this is a movie that's going to be made. We don't know if it's going to be a movie or a series or really what's going to happen here, especially because of the Hulk rights with Universal Studios. But World War Hulk is coming. So especially if we have a Hulk who has been on the rampage and was just this uncontrollable monster, it could be the Avengers fighting over what to do with the Hulk, whether to banish him to another planet like they did in the comics, like the Illuminati did, or would it be to forgive him? There could be multiple sides to that argument as well. But this could all lead to a civil war. Either way, there's going to be some sort of inner conflict that will cause the Avengers or whatever heroes are there to disband and have this argument that will lead to a battle within each other. But kind of my question about it is, who would it be though? Because, the first Civil War movie, Captain America Civil War, was a direct adaptation of Captain America versus Iron Man, just like it happened in the comics. But you can't really do that with Civil War 2 because that was Iron Man versus Captain Marvel, and we don't have an Iron Man anymore. So who else could it be? I mean, there's this really cool visual here of like, oh, Captain Marvel versus Thor, but I don't really know how much Thor would be involved here. I mean, Thor wasn't even in the first Civil War movie because he wasn't on Earth at the time. I think the most obvious and simple answer is just the new Captain America with Sam Wilson. I mean, especially if this conflict is being introduced in his movie, it makes sense that he would be introduced here, or that he would be the leading side of this argument in the battle. And I mean, he was very close to Steve. He has a very similar mindset to Steve. We saw a lot in the Falcon Winter Soldier how adamant he is to stand up against what's wrong, to stand up against these injustices. So if President Ross is, pushing the Sokovia Accords again, Sam was on the opposite side of that originally. And again, we don't really know what the conflict would be, but I feel like Sam would be the leading side of one of these sides. And, but then you look at Captain Marvel, like it could just be an adaptation of Civil War II and have it be somebody versus Captain Marvel. It could be Captain America versus Captain Marvel, the two captains. That would be interesting. But I mean, why would Captain Marvel even be involved? I mean, like I said, I don't know the comic storyline, but I mean, like Captain Marvel is barely on Earth. Like she's in space the majority of the time. So why would she be a big player in this Civil War? And certainly not the leader of one of the sides. So who else could it be? I mean, you look at these posters, like these fan-made posters for Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty, and you look at all these characters and just realize how far the MCU has gone since that first Civil War movie. Like when you had Captain America Civil War, pretty much all the movies took place on Earth in our timeline. And now you have all these projects taking place in space, in the TVA, throughout the multiverse, in Westview. Like things are getting crazy now. Like you look at this poster and like, okay, obviously Doctor Strange wouldn't be involved. Like I said, Thor probably wouldn't be around. No, Captain Marvel. I mean, Black Panther is a possibility. But who even would that be? Would it be Shuri? Did she retire? We don't even know. There's so many unanswered questions after Wakanda Forever. I mean, Spider-Man could be here. But Spider-Man, I feel like, would probably be on the side of Sam. You got Moon Knight. I mean, you got some of these other characters like Ms. Marvel, Shang-Chi, I suppose, She-Hulk. You look at this as well, like Daredevil would probably be involved. That would be interesting. Bucky, of course, Wasp, and Ant-Man. But just like none of those really stick out to be like a big opposing force here. Like, especially if it's like going against President Thunderbolt Ross, like who would actually be on his side? And then I saw this poster. I was like, oh, this could be interesting. This could be like, oh, Sam's side of the team. And then I got looking. And I looked at the team here, and I realized one character was not on the same side as Sam in the original Captain America Civil War. And that would, of course, be Rhodey. Rhodey makes perfect sense here because Rhodey is a government official. As we saw in Secret Invasion, really in full effect. Yes, that was a Skrull, but still, James Rhodes, he works for the government. So even if he didn't want to, he would kind of have to be on the side of the President of the United States. We actually even saw that in Civil War, like even aside from just siding with Tony, like he was the one that was sent after and actually had to go take down and bring in Bucky, Steve, and T'Challa. He was the one that chased them down because he was working for the government. So this makes actually complete and total sense. And then you look at it even further, then you get that recreation of the first Civil War. You have a Captain America versus an Iron Man. You have Sam Wilson as the new Captain America versus James Rhodes as War Machine / Iron Patriot, whatever he's going to be, aka basically the new Iron Man. You look at that. Plus, I mean, Sam Wilson is getting his own Captain America movie. War Machine, or Rhodey, he is finally getting his own movie with with Armor Wars as well. So that's honestly a way I could see them go about doing this. But again, it's all theories, it's all speculation, but Alex Perez has put it out there that a second Civil War may be occurring in the MCU at some point down the road. Again, will it be soon? Or will it not? I mean, he says that it's going to be set up in Captain America Brave New World, but really that means nothing. I mean, Scorpion was set up in Spider-Man Homecoming back in 2017. Have we seen that go anywhere yet? No. But I actually speak to that. Stay tuned for a video I have coming out about Scorpion in Spider-Man Homecoming and how he's returning. So stay tuned for that. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about these reports and rumors that Civil War 2 is happening in the MCU, and how could you see this going down? What do you think would be the conflict here? What do you think they would be fighting over, and who would be the opposing sides? Would it be a Captain America versus Iron Man again? Would Captain Marvel be involved like she's in the comics? Or would it be something completely different? Who would be on each side? Let me know in the comments below. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so you can keep it up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.